Oh, are you having a dream about milk? What was he dreaming about?
Are we on?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Oh, nice way to start a video. Go on then, do you want to start?
Yes, ma'am.
Considering you had the perspective outside view of what giving birth was like.
Yeah. I think that I just have such a newfound respect for you and just for women in general. As a man, like I think our perspective is like, okay, you're just pushing out a baby and that hurts. But that's not even the half of it. It's not even, there's the contractions that come maybe a day or two before, and then hours before the contractions, those things, the pain that you were going through, and then to do it unmedicated, I can't even imagine.
Yes, because we had our home birth,
It just shows so much strength and so much resilience and goodness.
I mean, I nearly tapped out though.
Yeah, you did. But you just kept through it and fought through it, and it was just like, when I was looking at you, I was like, wow, this is super human.
I mean, it is one of life experiences. There's nothing you can do to stop it though. You are
turn into
literally
another
on,
person.
what's a runaway train? Like, you know, you have to do it. The baby's coming out one way or another. So
Very primal, for sure.
it's very primal. I just had no idea how bad the contractions were. I think all I knew was like, imagined the ring of fire, you know, when the baby is crowning. I just imagined, oh, that's the really painful bit. But no, for me the contractions were
that's
worse in a way because they just felt never ending.
and then how long they last. And it's like
It was constant.
seeing you go through them. It's like,
It was 10 p.m. until 10 a.m. ish when my waters broke. So that's 12. It was 12 hours essentially of contractions where you're just in searing pain for 2 minutes, and then you might have like a couple seconds, and it goes again. And you know, everyone, your midwife was basically like, try and sleep through it. I was like, what? I couldn't barely speak to him, and he was being so supportive, and I felt awful, but I just couldn't speak. I couldn't eat. I was throwing up. I had shivers and the chills, and you're just waiting for the next sign, and you're like, when are my waters going to break? And then you keep thinking maybe they have, or you keep looking for like...
because every little water, every little drip you feel, you're like, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
But you know.
Well,
it
happened. I was
for
on
sure.
the toilet rocking, because for me, the toilet was the most comfortable place when I was having contractions, which is weird, I know, but I don't know. I just wanted to be keeled over, and it just, for some reason, that was my sanctuary, the toilet. And I was on the toilet, and then Philip was there, just, it must have been a really bad pain.
Yeah, I had just got through, like, I think we were filling the tub, and I came back to check on you, and then
literally,
right when I walked in,
the waters just broke. They burst.
splashed me in my eyes.
In your eyes?
Yes.
How did they reach your eyes?
That's
Wow,
how
it was that
crazy it
powerful.
was.
So it was that powerful. And then literally, as soon as that happened, I just had to run from the toilet out here to the kitchen and just jump in the water pool.
Yeah.
And that felt amazing. Oh my God, I don't know what I would have done without the pool. And then, funny story, when my midwife turned up 30 minutes later, she felt the temperature of the pool, and she was like, you need to get out, it's not warm enough. You're going to have this baby on the bed. I was like, no. I planned a water birth. Like, that's the whole point. I'm doing this. Like, no. So both my parents got out pots and pans and started boiling water, and just like filling this birth pool with boiling water. And then finally we got to the right temperature. And like I said, I think I jumped in the water pool about 11 a.m.-ish. Maybe before that. Why didn't we write down the times? I have no idea. It's just happening. It's happening to you. And luckily, like, we had both my parents there, you and Jenna, to capture some photos or footage, because there's no way I was going to be like, quick, someone take a photo. Like, it wasn't happening. So we get into the birth pool. So bearing in mind, it's been 12 hours now, no sleep, no food, just like projected, like vomiting, diarrhea, everything. And get in the birth pool, midwife comes, and I feel good at this point. I'm like, right, we're in the home stretch. I just have to push really hard. And so I'm pushing, and she she's basically confused why nothing's happening. So she does a manual inspection. I don't know if that's the right word for it. Examination, maybe that's the word. And I'm now 7 centimeters dilated, but she feels that there's a lip on my cervix, which means that the head, like the baby, can't push past that. So it's stuck. So she basically says you can either wait as long as it might take,
to naturally push it out.
To naturally potentially be able to push out, but she's like, there's just no guarantee of how long that could take. And she goes, or if you want this baby like soon, I can manually pull your cervix like down and out, and the head will come the other way. So there's things going up and things coming out. And I was like, that one, just let's get this baby out. So she must have put her hand. I don't, honestly, at this point, I'm switched off. I'm just in pain. So I don't really even remember her being in the pool with me, but I guess she was. And she does that, and then the head comes out, and then it was kind of scary because basically what happened was, all I now know is that she goes, you can feel the head. So you literally feel down there, and I felt this head of hair, this head right here. And that was the weirdest feeling. And then I was like, okay. And then you said to me,
yeah, fourth quarter.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Lock in. You said lock in. That's what you said. You said lock in. So me and Philip had eye contact, and I was just like screaming to the point where the next door neighbor's kids who were homeschooling because of COVID were like, what's that noise? True story. I'm not making this up. They were like, what's that noise? Yeah. And then their dad said, I think the baby's coming. Yeah. And so locked in, and then pushed the head out, and then again just stopped.
Yeah, and then Ellie was like, get out, get out, get out, get out.
Get out the pool.
Yeah, just to make sure like that he didn't get water like in his system. But when you got out, boom, he came out, but he wasn't breathing. For like 2 or 3 seconds, she moved so fast. Like, shout out to Ellie, because like I think her composure and her energy is just what kept me sane, kept everybody else sane. And she was like, get the oxygen. And then by the time her assistant went and got the oxygen, she had blew into his mouth, and he started crying. And then she handed him to Iskra, and you started looking at him, and then I started crying, and then it was just like,
that all happened so quick. I remember thinking, his head's out. Yeah. Why isn't the rest of him out? Yeah. Like, that was very confusing, because you watch so many videos where like the whole baby just shoots out. And that's what everyone told me. They're like, once the head's out, they just like fall out. And I was like, I know the head's out. And then imagine I've got the head with the neck stuck between my cervix. And it was a weird feeling, and so I kind of stood up out of the water, and then at that point, basically the baby must have taken a breath, and then you can't go back down into the water or else it would have drowned. So that's why she said get out the pool, and I just got like lifted out this pool, and then it was like deep squat. So I just get down in the deepest squat I've ever done, which is lucky because I love a deep squat. And then she just yanked him out basically. But then when you look back, and then you just see like a lifeless blue body, that was really scary. And like, the grandparents were in tears, and you know.
It's interesting because when I saw him, I just couldn't believe that was a human. That's really what was going on.
Yeah. Oh, that was fun.
I was like, I can't believe we just made a human being. That's a real human.
Yeah, it didn't exist before, and then he's like half of me, half of you. And he's here now, right? And then when your baby just does that little cry, after being resuscitated, like Ellie just got straight to it. It all happened so quick that
very fast.
It wasn't traumatizing in a way. I couldn't even take it in what was happening, because she just dealt with it. Like, she was like, I know exactly what I'm doing. There's nothing scary here. We've got this. And then that little we were so relieved. Yes. And then straight away, what is this fly interrupting us for?
Yeah, and then we just went to the bed, which is
straight
really cool.
to the bed. But bearing in mind the placenta hasn't come out yet, so I'm like holding the baby, plus I got a towel between my legs because obviously there's blood everywhere, like a murder scene. There was marks of blood on like the wall over there, and then go and lay in the bed, and then she pulls out the placenta, which is the best feeling in the world.
Yeah. So I want your placenta. So can you give me a push? Oh. No bones in the placenta. It's actually going to feel really good when it comes out.
Oh, wow, that was beautiful. No one told me that either. It was like a lovely relief. And then there was an awful bit actually where they have to push on your stomach to get the excess blood out.
Squeeze.
Oh,
I know. Big deep breath. I know. Oh, this is gonna be the part you hate, but I'm saving your life, okay?
Oh, that'll do.
Yeah.
So after you've just gone through all of that, then 5 times, basically, both the midwives were pressing down on my stomach, and this blood was just gushing out. So, yeah, you definitely can't be queasy. I mean, you dealt with it so well.
Yeah, it was like...
It's just, it's not the focus. Like, honestly, anything could have been happening, and you don't care. You're just like, wow.
I watched enough videos, too, on YouTube.
I watched a lot of YouTube videos. So anyway, I thought it'd be really cool to show you a little bit of footage from the birth. Nothing too graphic, but just a little behind the scenes. However, actually, maybe we should get graphic. Should we show the placenta?
Yeah, I'm sure. Did we have like really good photos of it?
Really good photos. The placenta is huge.
Yeah.
Crazy that like this little one and the placenta.
We didn't eat it. I know some people eat it, and some
did not
people
eat it. But it's buried in the garden.
But we did bury it.
Yes, it's very nourishing. So we've got 2 trees growing from the placenta. Yes.
It sleeps.
It very sleeps. So yeah, anything else from the birth? I mean, okay, this is an important thing as well. When I was giving birth and after, when people said to me, would you do this again? I said, no way. Fast forward 2 days later, only 2 days later, Iskra, would you do this again? Absolutely. Like there's something in nature that it protects you from remembering the vividness of the pain because you would never do it again if you kept on reliving the pain because there's really nothing like it.
Yeah, I was just looking at you like, man,
Really nothing like it. And even after, like, you bleed for 3 weeks, and and I didn't tear, which is it's not lucky. I actually trained for it. I was doing all my massage.
Definitely.
I was doing all the things that you could do to prevent tearing, and I was very lucky I didn't, because my mom did an unmedicated birth as well, and she said the most painful thing for her was the stitching up of the tear at the end, because again, if you're unmedicated, that stuff hurts. So I was like adamant. I was like, I'm not going to tear, and luckily I didn't. So for me, I healed very, very quick. That flies really distracted me. And yeah, about 3 weeks after, no, 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks, I gently started working out. After 3 weeks, I'd completely stopped bleeding, if not before that, because I wasn't really working out while I was bleeding heavy. So yeah, it was quite the adventure.
yes.
And then
I know we're so lucky that in these times that we got to just stay home
yes.
and take in all these moments that you'll never get back. So that was good that we were kind of forced to sit down somewhere so we could just give all of our energy to him.
And also, as much as at the time and even after, we thought, oh, we've had a traumatic birth because of the resuscitation, that's actually pretty normal. And looking back on it now, that does happen a lot. So if you are worried about those types of things, if you get a qualified midwife who's fantastic, it's all going to be fine. I think over worrying and over stressing is not going to be good for anyone. So make sure you pick the right person, and if you're not comfortable, go to the hospital as well. That's got to do what's best for you and your family. So yeah. And that actually, we've included some footage of one of my midwife appointments. In fact, the last one. So I thought that would be really nice. So you got a little overview of how chill it is to have a home birth, because I think that was our favorite thing.
Yeah.
We were just at home,
Yeah.
just in our own space, whatever snacks I wanted.
That's true. TV, everything, your own bed. So.
Yeah, and then you just are lying in your bed with your baby, like straight away, doing your first breastfeed. It was incredible. And then, yeah, we just got to chill, and it's been a whirlwind, honestly, and it's 8 weeks today.
Oh, man.
Crazy, right?
Time's flying.
Yeah, we haven't rushed to like create this content because we have been so focused on, you know, making sure he's okay and getting into the groove with sleep. That's a whole nother video. We will have to do a video on sleep.
Yeah.
But thanks for watching.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, good luck for anyone who is about to give birth, and sending my love to anyone who might be struggling to conceive. You are doing great, and you are loved. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Love from all of us.